Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to mute everyone. And then again, as always, if you're unclear about something or you have questions or you can't hear me or something, just feel free to unmute yourself and yell at me or something. All right, so we'll get started today on our backs. And we'll be starting with a bit of a body scan to help us really fully relax into the moment right now, help us ground into our bodies. At the end of this week, just relaxing. And here, if you find anything that's uncomfortable on your tailbone or your low back as you lay like this, feel free to bend your knees and then take your feet kind of hip distance to the width of your mat, and then have your knees leaning against each other. That way it can help to support your low back, and so you're not using your muscles to hold up your legs by having them lean against each other. As you lay on the mat, lengthening your neck along the back of your mat. So finding so that you can almost tilt your chin almost so that you're looking down. You won't really be looking down, but it's kind of the energy of looking down and feeling as much as you can kind of the lower part of your skull connect with the mat so that you're not kind of looking behind you as much as you can. So helping to find length in the spine in that neck there, because really our neck and all parts of our spine inform the rest of our body. Any kind of misalignment in our neck, we'll find that misalignment affecting our lower back and mid back and all things like that. Placing your palms so that they're face up towards the ceiling. And we'll start by taking a deep breath into the belly, feeling it expand as you take that oxygen, that air into your lungs, feeling your diaphragm change shape, the belly puff up to the sky, and then slowly deflate as you take a nice long exhale out of your mouth or nose. And staying with your breath here for a few moments, just to tap into how you're feeling, noticing if your breath is shallow and in your chest, or if you're really able to easily take these long, deep breaths without any challenge. And now, putting your attention towards your feet, your ankles, and your calves, and just noticing where they meet the mat, focusing your attention there, really feeling the sensations that your feet, your ankles, and your calves are feeling. Noticing if there's tension in your feet, if you are clenching your ankles, perhaps flexing them, and just letting it relax. Next, focusing your attention on your thighs, your quads, your hamstrings, behind your knee, the front of your knee, all the way up to your upper thigh, and right behind there, your upper hamstring, the back of your thigh. Just focusing your attention there, noticing if you feel any tightness, noticing how it feels to have your hamstrings touching the back of your mat. Focusing your attention there, noticing if your mind starts to wander somewhere else, and just refocusing on the sensation. And if there is tension in your thighs, the back of your thighs, front, letting it just consciously release as much as you can. And then moving your attention to a little bit higher to your lower abdomen, the space between where your thigh meets your torso, your psoas, your glutes and your low back, your tailbone area, and the sides of your glutes, so kind of around your hip area here, your whole hip. We have a lot of stuff that goes on in our hips. We're hinging them. It's a big joint. All day we tend to sit, or if we are not sitting, we still use our hip muscles for so much. So just focusing your attention there, noticing where your low back, your glutes, your tailbone meets the mat. Noticing how that feels. Does it feel uncomfortable? Do you feel like there's a tightness holding you in your hip? And if so, let it all go. Just taking a conscious exhale out. And as you do so, releasing the tension in your hips. Then taking your attention a little bit higher to your belly, your mid back, and your upper back and chest. Maybe even focusing your attention to the center of your sternum. And noticing the volume of space that your chest and torso take up in space. Noticing how your chest inflates as you inhale and exhale. The movement of air throughout your body. Noticing how that feels. And again, as your mind wanders, just letting it drift back onto the sensation. And if there's tightness in your chest, your upper back or mid back, just taking a sigh out your mouth or nose to let it go. And then moving your attention towards your shoulders, your arms, your neck, your upper shoulders and front, your pecs and the tops of your shoulders, noticing if your shoulders are by your ears. And if they are, let them slide down and away. Using exhale to help relax those muscles. Notice how they feel today. And then at last, moving your attention towards your jaw, your eyes, your forehead. And just with an exhale, let it all relax, release into nothing. Maybe letting your jaw hang open. And then we'll start to do a little bit of movement here. So slowly, you can either keep your eyes closed or blink them open, rocking your head side to side, opening the sides of your neck and your shoulders. Noticing if any part of your body feels different as you move your neck side to side. Do you feel tension in your chest or your back as you move your neck? And then from here, if your knees aren't already bent, tucking them, bending them and tucking your thighs in towards your chest, keeping that long length in your neck here, looking up kind of and forward towards the sky and just rocking side to side. Again, keeping that length in your neck. If you'd like, if you find it better, you can rock up and down your spine rather than side to side. It's all about your personal preference. And just rocking here, maybe with your eyes open or closed, up to you. And then with your right knee still tucked into your chest, extend your left leg straight onto the mat. And we'll start to pull using your hands clasped on top of your knee, just in towards your right shoulder. So in between that armpit area, just pulling it in. Opening to the inside of that right thigh, that right hamstring. And then from here, taking it to the opposite side, so taking your knee all the way over to the opposite side, just find that opposite. So your left, more towards your left shoulder. Find that opposite stretch. And then switching legs, extending your right leg out, tucking the left knee into the chest, clasping your hands around that left knee and pulling it in towards your left armpit, finding an opening in this inner left thigh. Still here, noticing if you kind of cranked in your neck and finding that length here as much as you can, focusing back on keeping the length in your spine, and then moving your left knee towards the right side now. Holding here, not cranking, just gently placing and holding. And then coming back to center, tuck both knees into the chest now. Again, rocking side to side. And then we'll rock up into a seated position. From here, cross-legged. If you can, cross-legged. If you find it's really uncomfortable to be cross-legged, you can sit on your heels. You can sit on a pillow. And I know we've got so many pillows today as our practice. Feel free to grab a pillow to sit on if that works better for you. And from here, we're just going to give our neck a little bit of a nice massage slash stretch. So first, lengthening the spine. So again, imagine that the tips of your ears are pointing up towards the sky. Find that length, maybe tucking your chin a bit if you kind of are going forward like this. We want to pull it back in, finding a length along the spine. And from here, taking a deep inhale, opening through the belly, and then looking over towards the right. So as you look over towards the right, do you feel stretch in the left side of your neck? Just noticing how that feels, and then kind of as you notice how you feel, we'll then begin to progress how much of a stretch you want to have. So if this feels like a really big stretch, to look over towards the right, and again, you can place your hands on your knees or kind of place your hands a bit further back so you can kind of open this way. Sometimes you'll find if they place their left hand kind of on the ground beside them, that gives them a better stretch as well through this left forearm. So kind of playing with the placement of your hands either on your legs or behind you. And if this is not enough of a stretch, you can start to look down as well. So to just get you a better stretch along the side of your neck and the tops of your shoulders. How does that feel? Breathing here as you exhale, letting your shoulders relax as much as you can. Maybe closing your eyes. And then the last other step, one thing that you could do is either take your right hand to the outside of your left side of your head and let the weight of it just sort of pull your head down a bit more. Or if you feel like you're already getting enough stretch, and what you want to do is give yourself a bit of a neck massage. So giving a bit of that self-care in, maybe using your 3 fingertips of your right hand, giving your shoulder a bit of a little massage here in between the shoulder blades, up the neck, giving yourself a bit of self-care time here on this rainy Saturday. Noticing how that feels, taking this time out for yourself to really honor your body, to relax, to calm our nervous systems down. Still breathing into your belly as much as you can. And then slowly start to drift your head all the way down. Maybe placing your right hand behind you as well, just looking down, finding that stretch on the back of your neck. And maybe here you'd like to give yourself a double massage if you want on your shoulders. Giving yourself, as you're looking down, stretching the back of your neck. Giving yourself a bit of a massage on both your shoulders and neck. Noticing everyone has different tight spots, so noticing where that is. And then letting your head drift over towards the left now. So again, you can place the placement of your right hand. You can have your head facing down and towards the left, or just over towards the left if you find that's too intense. It's up to you, all about your body, tuning into how you feel. Looking down, playing with how that feels. And if you'd like, you can add the extra stretch of putting your left hand on the outside of the right side of your head and letting the weight of your hand pull you in. Maybe playing with the placement of your right hand as well, maybe behind you to the side, to help also get that stretch on the forearm. Using your breath to help relax even fuller. And again, perhaps you want to do a little neck or shoulder massage, and you can use really either hand. If you want to use your left hand here or your right, it's up to you which you feel is going to be best for you. And then just giving yourself a bit of massage with your fingers, loosening those tight spots. As we stare at our screens, we often are in a jutted forward position, a head position that is not natural for us to be in. So we help to release the muscle tension along our neck and upper back here, which can have a ripple effect to so many other things. Again, breathing into the belly, relaxing as much as you can. Maybe even getting the side and the back of your neck. And then drifting your head all the way back up to center. Rolling the shoulders a bit here, just to kind of move, maybe moving your head side to side, just to kind of loosen things up after being in a static position. And then we're gonna fold forward. So for here, you can either, if you don't wanna use a pillow, you do not need to, but if you do have a pillow and you wanna get the full relaxation experience, I suggest that you grab one or two of your pillows and place them in front of you. So with them placed in front of you, we can start to fold forward. So it can be kind of intense to have our forearms all the way on the ground, especially at the beginning of a practice or restorative practice. So coming forward, placing your forearms onto your pillow, you can pile them as high as you want. And then with that long spine kept in mind, folding forward, hinging from the hips. And then if you want to take out more pillows as you go, you can always do that so you can fully support yourself. Or if you want, the more pillows you have, you can actually support your torso as you fold forward. So you could place them kind of on your legs and then fold forward like this so that you're completely supported by all your pillows. So we're getting into relaxation mode here. Noticing how it feels in your hips and in your low back. If you're relaxing on your pillows fully, you might have a curled spine, and that is no problem at all. That will help to release your low back. Noticing how intense this feels on your hips, and you can always push off. So if you feel like you want to go deeper or less deep, that's always up to you. Taking this time out to carve out some body awareness. Sensing out how you feel. Letting your neck relax if you have it tight. And we'll do 2 more deep breaths here. So in this position, we'll do 2 deep breaths for a count of 5 in and 5 out. So before we begin, cleansing your airways with a deep exhale, and then we'll inhale through the belly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inhaling again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel that belly expand and slowly deflate as we exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. slowly placing your hands on either side of your pillows, pushing yourself back up into a seated position, and we'll just place our pillows off to the side for now. We'll come back to our pillows. And then coming forward into all fours, into a tabletop position, starting to circle your hips a bit here, letting your low back dip and then tucking your tailbone under as you move, just moving with the rhythm of your breath here. And then walking your feet back a bit and walking your hands forward and then coming all the way down onto your belly. So placing your forearms on either side of your chest, we're going to do a couple of things to get a little bit of a bend in our low back. So we do the opposite of what we were just working on. And on your inhale, use your core to lift yourself up, just your chest a little bit off the mat. And so on your inhale, lifting off, pulling the shoulder blades together into your sphinx. And just a subtle sphinx here, using mostly your hands. So try not to use your back to hold yourself up, but really just using the strength of your triceps, your biceps, as you open your chest and you're getting a bit of a back bend here in this sphinx. Holding here for 3, 2, 1, then slowly lowering all the way back down, letting your forehead come rest on the mat. Taking a deep exhale here on your next inhale, again, slowly lifting your chest off the mat, very subtle, not using your back muscles, focusing really on using those arm muscles to keep you up here so that you're getting a release in your back as well. Then exhaling to lower it back down. One more time, inhaling to lift your chest off the mat, pull those shoulder blades together, using your arms, looking up towards the sky, opening your chest, feeling how this feels, noticing how heart opener maybe makes you feel physically and emotionally. Holding here for 3, 2, 1, exhale. Slowly lower all the way back down, extending your right arm out towards the side, rolling over onto your right side body, lifting so that your left leg comes behind you, and you're opening to that right shoulder. Holding here for 3, 2, 1, rolling back onto your belly and then extending your left arm out towards the side, rolling onto your left side, tucking your right foot behind you, opening to that left shoulder this time. Holding here for 3, 2, 1, and then rolling back onto your belly. From here, placing hands on either side of your chest, pushing yourself back up to sit on your heels. So from here, we're going to go into a supported child's pose. So bring back the pillows. So wherever your pillows are, taking your knees as wide as your mat, toes together, and then placing your pillow, as many as you want, so that you can completely support your torso as you come into your child's pose. So playing around with your pillows, I'm going to grab 2 here to start, and then folding forward so that my back is rounding over the pillows. And you can place your hands either in front of you or down by your sides, whichever you feel is going to be the most relaxing. And again, trying to keep your neck in a relaxed position here. We don't want to compromise our neck for the position that we're in. And taking deep breaths through your belly, so feeling your belly expand as you inhale and deflate as you exhale. Tuning into how your body feels. And we'll take 2 deep breaths here, counting to 5 as we inhale and counting to 5 as we exhale, just as we did before, breathing into our belly. So before we begin, finding a cleansing exhale, and then we'll inhale through our nose into the belly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Placing your hands on either side of you, pushing yourself back up into that seated position. We're going to actually use our pillows again in a second, so maybe placing them just a bit off to the side, but where you can be able to use them. And then we'll rise up onto your knees here, placing it so that your feet are supporting you, maybe so that your toes are tucked under, stepping your left foot forward. And we're actually going to come into supported lizard. So from here, we're going to start by stretching this muscle, placing hands on either side of your hips just to open your thigh a bit before we come into our supported lizard. Just bending into that left knee, using your core bit here to keep your spine straight. And then we'll walk our left foot a bit over towards the left, so heel toeing it, placing our pillows on the inside of our left foot, as many pillows as you want, and then leaning forward. So you might need to walk your right leg back a bit. And what we're doing here is we're coming so that our forearms are on your pillows. And if you don't have enough pillows, you can always place your hands on the ground, find a comfortable position that works for you, depending on how many props you have. And then maybe extending your knee, right knee, walking it back a bit. And then finding an opening here in your thighs. So letting yourself relax as much as you can. Using your forearms to support you in your lizard. Breathing into your hips. Noticing as your belly expands. As you exhale, feel yourself relax as much as you can. Breathing deep. Keeping the length in your spine here, focusing on not cranking into your neck. Keep maybe looking towards the ground, but not, cranking your neck at all. Maybe you've gone onto the knife edge of that left foot. Or maybe it's too intense to have your forearms on your pillow, so you can always rise up into an upright lizard position. And then wherever you are, using your hands to push yourself back up, and then straightening this left leg, flexing. You can't really see my foot, I'll move my toes. Flexing your left foot so that you're folding forward and getting a stretch along this calf and along, if you can, your left glute. So if you want, you can walk your hands over towards the right side, and that might give you an extra stretch along your left back body and your glute there. But flexing into that left foot. Breathing into your belly. Holding here for 3, 2, 1, then walking your hands back to beside your feet and stepping the left knee back, rising up again, and then we'll switch legs. So again, your pillows, bring them back to where they were, but now they're on the left side, and we'll step our right foot forward. Again, we'll start in our just kind of forward lunge. So you may want to move these over a bit. So starting with your lunge, just to open up the left quad before we go into our lizard a bit. So placing hands on hips, keeping a long spine, engaging through your core, and then leaning forward, opening this left quad. Always breathing through the hips, really helping to use our breath to focus on opening those hips. Noticing how these your quads feel, if they're tight after a long week of sitting. And then again, we'll rise a bit, moving your left feet over towards the left side of your mat, placing your pillows so that they're right beside your left foot, and you can place your forearms, your hands on your mat, your pillows, bending into that right knee, and then moving your left knee back on the mat so you come into your lizard. And again, focusing on opening that left quad, the inside of your right leg. This can be a pretty intense posture. That's why we have our pillows here to support us. And as always, using the breath to breathe into the belly, help calm our nervous system down. Every time we take a deep breath into our belly, what actually happens is it expands and it activates our vagus nerve, which runs between our belly and our brain, and it activates our rest and digest nervous system. So really, through breathing in a particular manner, we can help to calm our nervous system down, fully relax into postures, and relax our muscles as well. Take a couple more deep breaths here. Feeling into this sensation, noticing if this side is either easier or more difficult than the other side, keeping that length in your neck, focusing on not cranking here. Breathing into your belly. And then when you're ready, placing your hands on your pillows and pushing yourself back up and flexing this right foot, straightening this right leg a bit, not all the way. And then you can either stay here, or if you want that extra stretch in the right side of your glute and upper and lower back, placing your hands towards the side of your leg, so looking kind of over towards the left side of the room, and then opening that side of your body. Holding here for a few more breaths, leaning into the sensations. Noticing if the side feels different than the other one. Maybe your calf is more open or tighter. Maybe you feel less of a stretch because this side already feels good, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe this side is the one that needs more stretch. And then walking your hands back to center, and then placing your right knee back to where it was. From here, coming to sit back down on your heels and extending your legs out in front of you. And from here again, bending your knees slightly, we're going to do a bit of another pillow utilizing position, placing maybe 1, 2, or 3 pillows, as many as you want. I'm going to do 2 on your legs, and then folding forward. So again, doing this so that your pillows can support you as you fold forward, so you're not using the strength of any of your muscles to support you. It's really all in the prop, in the pillows to support us. So maybe flexing your feet if you want, or letting them just completely relax into this posture. And as we did in the other ones, we'll take 2 deep breaths here, counting for 5 as we inhale and as we exhale. So taking a cleansing exhale out, and then inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pushing yourself back up into your seated position, placing your pillows off to the side, and then maybe either with your legs straight like this, or maybe bending your knees, lower yourself all the way back down onto the mat. But keep your pillows nearby, because we're going to be using them again. So from here, bringing your knees into your chest, maybe doing some circles with your knees, noticing how they feel. And we're going to come into a reclined twist. So with your arms extended out to either side, lengthening your spine again down onto your mat, and then slowly tucking your knees into your chest if they weren't already, and letting them fall over towards the right. So if you can keep your left shoulder down on the mat, great. If you can't, all good. Just focusing here on letting your body release. Maybe looking over your left shoulder, maybe keeping your hands in this Texas T, or if you want, placing your right hand on your left knee. Breathing into your belly, until you feel your spine expand and contract as you do this. Noticing how you feel. Relax completely into this. And now using your core and maybe the support of your hands to slowly pull your knees back into your chest. Rocking here a bit, tucking these knees, finding that forward bend. And then as you exhale, letting your knees fall over towards the left side, keeping your right shoulder on the mat if you can. Maybe looking over towards your right shoulder. Breathing into your belly. And as you exhale, release. Using all your muscles, helping you relax as you exhale. Closing your eyes if they aren't already, and focusing on the sensations that your body is producing. Noticing how the twist feels in your body. And then using either your hands to pull yourself back up into this knees in your chest. And we'll do one final relaxing pose. We'll be doing a twist that is supported. A bridge that is supported. So either taking as many pillows as you want. I'm going to take, I think, all three of mine. No, just two of them. And then lifting your low back off the mat. So you're placing your feet on the mat so that they're bent and your knees are about hip distance apart. Lifting your low back off the mat and then tucking a pillow or two, how many you feel, under your back. So this is a bridge that is supported here, letting your neck lengthen against the back and just letting the pillows absolutely support you. Maybe it's so that your low back, as much as possible, kind of your sacral area should be supported here. So making it so that not just your low back, but your sacral area by your tailbone is also supported by these pillows. If you want more stretch, you can even straighten your legs and define this bit of a back bend. If that's too much for you, you can always keep your knees bent. This pose is countering all the forward folds we did. So we did that child's pose, forward fold. We folded in our seated position twice. So it's really good to find that counteraction posture. Again, noticing the length of your neck. So are you cranking and looking up behind you, or is the base of your occipitals, the base of your skull, is it touching the mat? And just let yourself completely relax here. And then if you'd like, you could stay in this position of your Shavasana. Or if you'd like, you can bend your knees again, lifting your low back off the pillows and tucking them out from underneath you. If you don't want to do this as your Shavasana. And then wherever you are here, you can take a final pose if you'd like. Maybe you feel like you really need a glute stretch and you want to do a figure 4. I always invite everyone at the end of our practice to find a posture that works, that they feel they need, if they feel they need anything, just to cultivate that body awareness as we finish out our practices. Wherever you are, whether you stayed in your bridge, your supported bridge as your Shavasana, or you are coming down and you're extending your legs out into corpse pose, or you have your knees bent, or if you want to find your Shavasana in a child's pose or any other position that you feel is good for you. If you'd like, you could also use a blanket. This is where our blankets come in our Shavasana. Maybe laying your blanket to warm you up as we can kind of get cool when we're in our final posture. So maybe laying a blanket here to just find some comfort. Maybe placing one of your pillows under your head if you find that it will help you and support you. And then noticing where your body meets the mat and fully relaxing into this posture. Letting it all go. And then wherever you are, if you have the time and you'd like to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you want, feel free to do so. If you have work to get back to, obviously, can roll over. But if you have some extra time and you want to stay in your Shavasana for a few more minutes, I invite you to do so. Just taking what your body needs and honoring that. But if, like me, you must return to the world, slowly rolling over onto one side. For me, that'll be my right side, and I'll use my right tricep as a pillow to support my head as I roll over. And then as I push myself up, letting my head be the very last thing that comes up, using mostly my hands to support me, maybe keeping the blanket on to keep that warmth going. And from here, finding a seated position, maybe you're sitting on your pillow again, maybe you're just sitting cross-legged, finding length in your spine, relaxing fully. Taking one last deep breath in through your belly and then letting it go. As always, thanking yourself for showing up today, for taking some time out for your body, for your mind, for your soul, to cultivate this practice that we have here every week. And as always, thank you for allowing me to be your guide, to especially in a practice like this where we're all about helping calm down and releasing everything that happened within the past week. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope it stops raining wherever we are. And namaste.
Thank you so much. A great weekend.
You as well. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.